Hey everybody, I hope you can hear me because it's kind of windy out here. But this is Cynthia from Sensational Container Gardening, and I'm going to do something that I've been wanting to do for some time. You know, we gardeners use fish emulsion all the time. 511, there's different brands of, let me hold up the can of sardines, to provide nutrients for our plants. And it's one of the safest and nutritious forms of fertilizer you can use. So sardines are fish. I heard about a couple people using sardines in their garden, carefully of course, because I know someone that's not a gardener is like, well, don't you think the cats are going to dig it up? Yeah, but that's not going to keep me from doing it. And you know what? It's going to be under several layers of dirt, and the cats had all kind of stuff to come in here and kind of play with, so I'm not going to let that deter me. So anyway, I had to start out with 2 tomato plants. This is not, you know, a complete scientific where everything's exact, so that's not what's happening here. But I managed to get these 2 tomato plants at the 99-cent store and more a few days ago for $1.49 each. These healthy looking Better Boy tomato starts. I was real excited. I purchased starts from them last year that were great. So I found 2 plants that are kind of close together. I'm going to clean up the bottom. Of course, there's a bunch of leaves and stuff there. I have 2 5-gallon grow bags here with just some regular Kellogg's soil that I moisten because I don't want to, you know, keep you guys watching me moisten some dirt. I'm going to put 1 plant in a grow bag without any sardines underneath it, and the other one, I think I'm going to open up a couple of cans of these, put it underneath the plant, and then put some soil on top of that. And then as the plant grows, hopefully it's going to hit those sardines and bam, take off like a rocket. So we hope that's going to happen. And if you're asking, these sardines I actually ordered on Amazon like maybe a couple months ago. We're dealing with some of the hyperinflation right now. You used to be able to find these at Dollar Tree and like the 99-cent store. Shelves are really clear. And I couldn't get any at Walmart, but Amazon, they're more expensive now. I got a case of, I don't know, what was it, 12? For like 11 bucks. So they weren't even $1 a can. And these are in water, if you're asking. If you're going to do this, don't get the ones in the mustard and the hot sauce. I don't think that's going to be helpful. So I think I'm going to use maybe 2 of them. And I'm going to kind of keep you guys updated, you know, maybe in some other videos I'll just, you know, run over and we'll update and see how they're growing and see if there's any difference. I'm pretty sure it can't hurt, you know, and I'm kind of excited about it. I'm flying blindly with this. I've never done it before, but I've seen a few other people do it with some, you know, measure of success. So basically how I'm going to start is, let me see how I'm going to do this. When I transplant stuff that's, you know, in a pot, a lot of times I'll just take the pot and kind of put it down in it or give myself a nice place to put the plant. Let me take these 2 labels off. So this is the, nope, okay. This is the no sardines one. I'm using 2 labels because sometimes throughout the course of growing stuff, labels disappear. I don't know. So I'm going to, you know, put 2 in there. I had these staked because I don't know what's going on over here. The past couple months, it's been so unbelievably windy. We actually had a big, I don't know if it's an oak tree because I don't know trees, in front of our house decide it wanted to snap in half and fall in the street in front of our house. And then I got a text message one morning from my neighbor. It's like, your tree branch is in the street. And, you know, I jumped up and, you know, ran outside because I might have been eating my breakfast or something was going on. And it was more than a branch. It was about 100+ pounds of blocking the whole street. I immediately went inside and got my Black & Decker electric saw, which is kind of small. And I have been planning to buy a chainsaw because since I've been gardening, I've become like a landscaper. I have an electric hedger now. I'm doing all kind of things. I love it. You know, you find out necessity is the mother of invention. Is that how that goes? So anyway, I got to chopping. I wasn't going to jump on the phone and call somebody to charge me $600 to do what I felt empowered to do. And so I'm doing it. One of my neighbors walked by and he's like, wow, it's incredible. He went to the post office, came back, I was half done. It's a lot. I should insert a picture so you guys can see it. And then God is great because this neighbor that I had never met before, another guy came by, told me he knew somebody that, you know, did that kind of work, that was a professional. He got the business card, called the guy. The guy came over and quoted me $450. I wish you guys could see my face. No, thank you very much. I will put your card in my wallet. At the time, too, while I'm sitting there, I ordered Home Depot a home light saw. One, I already knew what I wanted because it was actually probably in my basket. I said, let me get this chainsaw because stuff happens, you know, when you have a house, all kinds of things. I need to have it. So I'm still chopping, trying to get the main part on the sidewalk. I had cleared the street, and the neighbor just walks down to his house and came back with his saw and just starts sawing. I was like, unbelievable. So I went inside and got him a donation, a nice one. And he was like, no. And I'm like, no, because you did this out of the goodness of your heart. Taking some of these leaves off. And I appreciate you. You know, we've lived here for 11, 12 years, something like that. And I had never met this guy. And it was just such a blessing to me. And in the process, I didn't really love what happened, but I love it when, you know, God will put you in circumstances where you don't. I'm now putting some more dirt around it. This is again, the no sardine one. Where you don't know that you can actually do something until you have to do it. And the way my life has unfolded in the past 10 or 11 years, where I find myself doing things and in circumstances that if I was writing down where I thought I would be or where I actually thought I wanted to be, I'm gonna phrase it like that, I wouldn't have picked that. But I look at the things that I've been able to do because I had to do it and I had no choice. So I'm actually, you know, I was all excited, and I called a dear friend of mine who is like negative Nancy. She just can't help herself, God bless her. And I told her, I said, girl, I was so excited because I, you know, took my little electric saw and blah, 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 blah. And I said, you know that I have been trimming our hedges in the back of my brand new, well, it's not brand new, but when I got it, the Worx electric trimmer, battery operated, love that thing. And her first comment to me, I said, I'm so proud of myself. She was like, well, those things have different speeds on it because you got to be careful. And I'm thinking, what? You know, but that's who she is. And I've learned to not, you know, I don't share a whole bunch of stuff with her before I do it, because I know that that's going to be the response. I remember years ago when I started working out at the gym, and I needed to because I was having health problems as a result of what I was putting in my mouth. And I went to the gym, I told her, and she was like, I know somebody that told me they knew somebody that started working out, and that person had a heart attack. And I said, you can also have a heart attack from being out of shape. You know, and you were one of the people clowning me because I was, you know, just way out of shape, so there's that part. Anyway, long story short, I started working out. First day, 5 minutes on the treadmill, I almost died, and I literally cried because I had no idea that I was that out of shape. Let's give the better boy some water carefully. Tomato plants smell so good. I don't know if that's just me because I'm an insane gardener, but when I was growing stuff inside the house, man, I would just pick them up and smell them. So maybe I'm revealing too much about me, but it smells great. So there's this one that's done. So I think I'm gonna sit that on the table. And now we're gonna deal with the one that's gonna have the fish. And anyway, I became a gym rat, and you know, my whole life I had been kind of told that I was not athletic for whatever reason. I don't know. And then I found out that I was. Yeah, and I, became gem obsessed and fell in love with it. So even though this is like totally irrelevant to what I'm doing right now, I just want to say to anybody who's watching this, don't allow other people to define you and set your limits. You set your limits, and maybe you don't even need to set any limits. Maybe you just need to try things. I've always been that person, good or bad, that's willing to try something new, and then if I, quote, fail, I'm going to continue. Perfect example is last year was my first year gardening. We had some successes and mucho failures, missteps. A lot because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand anything about planting depth. I didn't understand about planting things a certain time of year. I didn't understand about root system size and just a whole lot of things that I learned about because I looked at those failures as opportunities to learn something. Even now, with stuff going on, cabbage moth stuff, out here fighting aphids. I'm going to do a video on how I've been combating that, and I've done relatively okay with that. Excuse me for doing that, there's some dirt on my nose. I look at it as a learning opportunity, so if you're a newbie gardener especially, I hope that my channel encourages people. I don't have a particular green thumb. And there are people that have looked at it and like, girl, you got a green thumb. Whatever that is, I don't have it. There are no qualifications for doing it. There are so many other factors that are going to determine the success of your garden that have nothing to do with what you do or don't do. Once you drop that seed and it comes up, there's the weather, there's, 9 million bugs and other things that can get to it. There's just the diseases that they get and things, and all we can do, at least for me, is pray and have an understanding and be real attentive to it and get to know your plants and when they're looking healthy and when you see them on the way to getting sick. But I hope that since I'm not a gardening expert, I'm here to share my experiences. I hope I can encourage people to try and don't stop trying. Do not give up. Probably should have been digging this hole the whole time I was talking to you. But anyway, so what we're going to do with this, I have a grow bag here in front of me. You guys can't kind of see it, so I can make myself a sardine space. I'm going to take off this Vigo glove. I don't even know. So we're going to open up the sardines. And I've noticed, I started talking about that, Amazon, that the price of these went from $11 last time I checked to one of those where they say, check your options. You know that means it's $1 million now. They're like $23. Really? So I'm just going to do that. I'm a cat lover, and I had a cat, my last cat, Tina. She lived for about 17 years. And a big treat was when I gave her a can of sardines. She could hear it pop. Mmm, delicious. I'm going to be looking at sardines all the way different. I never really ate them. Let's see. You know what? Of concern, I know someone mentioned to me, was I concerned about, sodium or whatever being in this and affecting the plants? Not really. And if it's a problem, we'll, figure that out. So there we go. And I won't be giving these two anything additional. So, and I better not come back here and see a raccoon with, you know, a mouthful of sardines. One day it was really funny though. I saw my jug of 511 like 6 or 7 feet away from this. Wasn't open. But I was like, did Randy Raccoon come back in my garden and, you know, try to take a swig of 511? I hope not. So anyway, also I just wanted to mention when I'm transplanting, I always moisten the transplantee so that it's easy just to dump it out. These leaves, which are perfectly fine, can be put in the compost, or you know, if you make compost tea. I'm a big fan of the New Orleans gardener, and she calls hers super juice, and she uses it on everything, and it's very effective. If you don't subscribe to the New Orleans gardener, after you click away from this, you need to click on that and just subscribe to it, because Miss Linda over there is, first of all, you know, her spirit. One of the reasons why I joined or subscribed to her was just her spirit, the way she presents herself. She has a lot of knowledge, and she's not trying to reinvent gardening. It's experience, but she's open, you know, and she's honest about things that work for her and things that don't. Yay, it's the wind. And if she doesn't know something, I'm gonna pick up this bag. You see how I went from the Vigo glove to my hands? If she doesn't know something, she's gonna tell you and help you with a resource. So one of the things I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna do with my channel is I'm gonna share with you resources and channels and people that I subscribe to that I've gotten some really valuable information. And if you subscribe, I subscribe to a lot of channels because I get something different from everybody. You know, and that's something that, you know, you take this, you take that. There are some people that are really, really technical. There was one guy, and he has a really, you know, a lot of followers, but it's like I needed a degree in physics to understand his explanation about composting. And I was like, wow, it's carbon and nitrogen, a basic, you know, theory, and that if you kind of make whatever you want to call a mistake, if I'm ducking, it's because my bell pepper has tripled in size. I'm so excited. I've never had a pepper before. And it was just, you know, I'm not knocking what he's doing, but I don't want a headache. I don't want to have to take a Tylenol in that leaf after I watch you explain something. So there's that. So I'm going to, what did I do? Did you guys see how I function? I'm going to water that in. I'm going to put the 2 tags there, and we're going to watch it. And, you know, this is your garden, and there are certain, you know, with anything, there are certain things that are absolute. You know, like, don't crop a tomato seed in December. That's absolute, right? But there's some other things that you can try. You know, people will tell you you can't, you know, like all the container gardening, of which I am one. There were times that people, you can't grow corn in a container. Well, my corn is real iffy, so, but that's not, you know, because it's in a container. Might be something I did. But, you know, there are some absolutes, but then there are things that you can experiment and go, wow, you know what, I put this in mixed with this, and it worked. I put this in a coffee can, and wow, it's growing. You know, there are some things that are absolutes. Other things, I should have on a mask because this wind is just throwing dirt in my face. Like last year, I got to do a video on called Memories. I had my tomatoes in pots the size of a cereal bowl. Had them all lined up and labeled because it was cute. And was wondering why they weren't growing. And I'm seeing people on Facebook pages and whatever with these tomatoes, and mine looked ridiculous. And I didn't even have any tomatoes. I don't even know if they'd started to blossom. And then I got caught up in people talking about other stuff which had nothing to do with me. Epsom Epsom salts, and aspirins, and I actually threw some Epsom salts on it. And come to find out, they needed to be transplanted in something bigger. And I had been told by a non-gardener, don't transplant large plants. It's just a person saying stuff. So one day I came out here, I put on my big girl overalls, my big girl gardening panties. I got me some 5-gallon grow bags and my hose. I pulled up a chair and I got to transplant them. And those plants, I could hear an audible, thank you, Cynthia, thank you, because you had us in Barbie doll pots on what you thought, this plastic that, you could eat some cereal out of, and we weren't going to do anything. And within a week and a half, bam. The other thing that I found out is that the patio tomato, I had an assistant at that time, had been transplanted in the bowl that we used to shovel out the soil out of the big 2-cubic bag. So somehow that plant had been placed in that bowl was put in the grow bag. I had an assembly line process. I had somebody help me just fill up the grow bags. We just fill up the bags and leave them out here, and I'll use them, as I need to. And when I pulled the patio tomato out, and it was sitting in a bowl of water, I was like, so anyway, I just went all around about it, shared that story with you guys. I hope it was interesting. So I'm excited. I've been wanting to do this for months. I did have 2 tomato plants that were close enough in size. You see me taking these, I will wash these out, in some hot whatever water, and I will be saving them till the next time I need to do some starts or whatever. I should hopefully never have to buy another start or a red cup again, because I make sure they're disease-free, clean them, and we reuse them. So thank you guys for stopping in and taking a look at my video, and I will see you in the next video. And I'm going to keep you guys posted on what's going on with my experiment. Take care.